So in this video, I just want to talk about opening a restaurant, starting a new business as a restaurant, because there are some extra steps and some things to be aware of. A restaurant is a relatively complicated business when it comes to rules, regulations, licenses, permits, and things like that. So I don't mean to discourage you. Please open a restaurant. I love restaurants. Happy to support that. Again, just wanted to warn you that there are some extra rules and regulations that you need to follow. So of course, this will vary from jurisdiction to jurisdiction, and you'll always want to do some research in your specific jurisdiction. But like any other business, a restaurant needs to register, probably get a municipal business license, get insurance, get a payroll account if there's employees, workers' compensation, set up sales tax accounts and things like that just about every business needs to get set up with. However, for a restaurant, there are some other things to be aware of. And that would be things like sometimes the restaurant owner or a certain amount of employees need like a food handling safety certificate. Another thing would be if the restaurant is serving alcohol, they probably need a liquor license. Also, because they are a restaurant, they probably need some type of a restaurant permit, which again can vary from jurisdiction to jurisdiction. Where I live, you need to go through the provincial health authority and have an inspection and then have that permit granted to you upon passing that inspection. There can also be rules around what type of equipment you're using, what type of ventilation you have, and things like that can kind of depend on the type of food that you're preparing there. And also the building that you're operating out of needs to be in the right zone for a restaurant, and also might need permitted use to be a restaurant. So for example, if you are leasing out a space that used to be an office or some type of like mechanic workshop or something like that, maybe the building is in an area that is zoned for a restaurant, but maybe the usage isn't set up for a restaurant, and therefore you might need to apply for a building permit to kind of redevelop the space for a different use, typically with your municipality. So I think before getting too deep into the business planning and development for a restaurant, it's good to be aware of these things. And I definitely recommend working with a commercial real estate agent, and not just one that's a listing agent for specific properties that you're interested in. I would say find one to represent you as someone who's looking for a lease for your business. That way that commercial agent is on your side and looking out for your best interests. And make sure they have an understanding of restaurants and the rules and requirements for opening a restaurant. They can hopefully help you find an area that's zoned for restaurant, find a building that's suitable, explain the lease terms, maybe discuss some of the alterations or renovations you might need to make for that space to make it suitable to operate a restaurant, and allow yourself to get approved for licenses and permits to operate that restaurant. And also hopefully that commercial real estate agent can help you find a space that is in alignment with your budget, because as we all know, restaurants have pretty tight margins typically, so it can be hard to be profitable as a restaurant, especially if you are leasing out a space that's much larger or more expensive than you need. So again, I don't mean to scare people away from starting a restaurant. I just want people to be aware of some of those extra rules and regulations so that they don't run into issues, because I've seen this before where they don't anticipate the extra work they need to do, and that can just create delays and create problems that they need to deal with that can make it harder to start and operate the business. So hopefully this video was helpful. If so, please click like, and feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel and check out some of the other videos I have. I currently have over 200 that cover business management and business startup topics.